5 points through 5 games, another Eastern Conference team, valuable points on the line once again. How do you guys go up against DC United?
I think we have to stick to the things that we've done. Hope that we're continuing to progress as a group through each week, through training, through more and more experiences. So we want to stay solid defensively and make sure we minimize what we give up and continue to work towards our connections on the offensive end. And we're hoping to take another step forward in that this weekend and be a little bit more dangerous, but also execute a little bit more in and around the box.
You talk about that quick start, 2 games in a row now. TFC has conceded early in the match. What do you guys need to do to rectify that?
I think we just, to be fair, I just think we need to be more aggressive in some ways. Not an aggressive in terms of a careless way, but I think we need to think about getting the ball behind the opposition's back line. We need to get into their half of the field. Not worry about how many passes we put together or how pretty it really looks at the beginning, but really think about getting into the opposition's half and forcing their back line to have to make plays early in a game. Was everybody comes out of the locker room and you sit through national anthems, you sit through a lot of things, and then all of a sudden the game's going, and it doesn't make sense for us to try to do too much early on other than put pressure on the opposition and see if we can't control the game early on in their half the field away from our goal, maybe get a chance or two out of that, and eventually the game will settle down. But we can't be reactive, which is what we've been in the last couple of games, and we found ourselves in bad situations, and Clint having to come up with good saves.
We were talking with Will just the other day, and he said if you take care of the defensive aspects of the game, the offensive side will start to come. He himself has 11 shots through 5 games. Do you feel that he's on the cusp of breaking through potentially?
I do. I just think that's kind of the group, and we've made some adjustments. We've added Josie in. I think Josie and Seba, as we saw, I thought through the course of the last match, they're starting to get more on the same page. It seems that way in terms of training now that we're getting more time together. And in addition to that is sort of the supporting group that is also in the attack, just getting a little bit more used to their roles and the options that they have now that Josie's up there versus just when Seba was kind of the lone center forward in a way. And so those things we know with this group will come along, as Will had mentioned, and I see Will as a part of that, and that he's very good at recognizing spaces late and arriving to things, and he's got a good shot from distance that I think can continue to add to our group, because teams are gonna get numbers back fast to deal with Seba and to deal with Josie, and we've got to be able to have guys who can open them up from a little bit of a distance or to be able to get around the outside. And so I think Will is a part of that as his attacking game continues to come around.
DC United is a veteran-laden side. What do you expect from them? I mean, last weekend was a rare offensive outburst from them. Do you expect the same kind of outcome this week?
Well, I think they are that. They're a veteran team that they are. They don't really give you anything. You have to come in and you have to make plays and you have to beat them. They're not going to just roll over. They're guys who know this league very well and have done the grind year in and year out. And what I think about when I look at the group, I'm not surprised that they have attacking output last week. I think it's something that will come. They have 5 fairly out-and-out attackers on the field and 5 sort of defensive-minded guys on the field when you look at their group. So it's going to be at some point where they're going to score goals. For us is we want to make some of those guys who are attackers have to defend a little bit more, and I think that's part of our strategy. But you have to be aware of guys like Espindola and Rolf, and Nagel has shown to score goals in this league, and they've got guys who can score goals. It's just there's a fair amount of new guys and guys in different positions where their chemistry maybe hasn't been as tight on the attacking end as it has been. But what you're going to get is hard work and commitment, and that group is going to fight from minute 1 to minute 90.
Public perception, is 1 win in 5 kind of situation. But is it important to reiterate the fact that teams on the road and traditionally, if you pick up a point on the road every game, or you finish with 17 to 20 road points in the season, you're well placed by the end. And as of right now, TFC I think has the 3rd best away record in the Eastern Conference. So, is it important to reiterate that to the group too, just to remind them that draws are fine and you don't necessarily need to win all these road games to start the season?
Yeah, I think our group's pretty accustomed to it. We had last year as a previous experience, and going into the last 2 games of last year's road trip, I think we were 1-4 at that point, and then we went into those last 2 games and were able to grind out some results. So it's the league is tough. It's every team in the league that has a hard time on the road, and that's just one of the aspects of this league. And for our guys, I don't think we're disappointed in any way in terms of the overall results. We felt like along the way we probably could have squeezed a couple more points here or there if things would have gone a little bit more our way. But that's the game, and for us, it's about performance and continuing to. And use this time to continue to grow and build on our performances and take as many points as we can along this road. And we know if we can keep that right around the one or get it above one per game, then we're right where we need to be going into it. But at the end of the day, once we get back home and once we get into a more stable schedule, we really have to make some hay at that point. Right now, it's we're concerned about our performances and making sure that we're getting better as a group, and we're getting ready for what's to come as well. But these are opportunities to try to get points on the road.